Every canvas or every paper has two dimensions, that is length and breadth. Third one is artistic, that is depth. For that you need to learn the skill. And the fourth one is life, for that you need practice. Hello guys, this is Sonali. Welcome to our today's video. So today we are going to see how to add depth to your sketches, to your drawings, and how to make them look realistic. So what do we need to add this depth? We know light, any natural light, sunlight or any other light, when because of the light we are able to see the things, we are able to see things around us, we are able to see the world. And when there is a light, there is a shadow of that particular object which is falling on ground or falling on nearby wall or any other nearby objects. Also the reflected light, the light which is falling on any surface or ground, and then when it reflects on that object. Also the highlights because of the dominant light on falling on that particular object. And also because of certain shape of that object casts some shadow on itself, so that will be the darkest part of that object. So all these elements of lights and shades and shadows, all these things, when you put together, when you add them to your sketches or your drawings, you will be able to make them look realistic. At times, sometimes there will be mid-tone, like uh, your object will show the original color of it. Now, what all these elements are, how to add them into your sketches or drawing, and how to make them realistic, that is what we are going to see. Also, these shades, how to make these shades, different patterns of making shades, and how to practice them. That's all we are going to learn today. So before we start, let me tell you a few important things. That is, whenever you work, whatever you draw, you sketch, you paint, or any art and craft, or whatever you do, please make sure you have natural light. You are working in daylight, or at least enough light wherever you are working, because it's very important for your eyes and vision. The next thing, whatever material I suggest you, or other from other sources, you will get to know about the material of this art and craft material, about this sketching material, painting material. And when you go to market or when you want to buy them online, you may feel like that, if you are a beginner, you may feel like that it's a bit costlier and you may quit. Please don't do that, it is really worth. So once you start doing it, and once you see the end result because of this certain material, you'll be very happy and you'll know that it's really worth. And the last very important thing, lockdown is there, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, where and whenever this lockdown ends in your city or in your town, in your area, by the end of this week or by the end of this month or whenever, please don't rush, don't go immediately out to market to buy the material, or don't even order it online immediately. Please wait for some time, have some patience, let the situation be normal everywhere. Stay home, stay safe. Let's start. Though it is April now, it's raining in Bangalore like July, August. So I'm not able to show you the direct sunlight and the shadows. So anyway, but I'll be giving you the other examples.
Okay, before we start, I will give you one example why these lights and shadows are important in your sketches. You can see this photo. She's standing near the door. Door is this side. The light is coming from this side, and all the shadows are falling this side. So there is not only one tone of the shade, or not only one tone of the shadows. There are different tones in these shades, in these shadows, and even in light. There are some highlights in eyes, on cheeks, on nose, even on hair, on her dress. Okay, so from this photograph, some 2 years back, I had made this sketch. You can see I have not added much shades and shadows, and even the strokes are very basic, so you can see it doesn't look that great. And then you can see this one. So I have used proper material, proper strokes. uh, I have done proper blending and proper highlights, and I have added all these elements, cast shadows, core shadows, uh, then midtones. There are different tones in my sketch, so it looks good, it looks realistic. Also, one more sketch is there. You can see how realistic it looks, even the hair, just because of all these shades, shadows, and all these tones I have added to the sketch. Today I will show you about different strokes and different patterns to make the shades, different elements in lights and shadows, and of course then how we are going to add in all these features on your facial features or any other objects that we are going to learn in our next videos. But today we'll start with very basic things. It's totally up to you how to hold your pencil, where to hold it, near or here or in anywhere. It's up to you. The important thing is how you make the strokes and how much pressure you put on the paper with this pencil. So let's start. So you can you can call it as a hatch. So you can just make it with this simple horizontal strokes. You can even make these strokes. If you have watched my last video about basics of sketching, the first part, you have learned. So I have told you guys to make practice of these lines, patterns, vertical lines, horizontal lines, slanting lines. So with this, you need to practice this also. So you can make these strokes, or you can also make crisscross this way, and then again you can make it darker, adding this. So here you this these are vertical strokes, then the horizontal strokes, crisscross I have showed you. Then apart from this, you can just make shading with circular pattern. So now it depends how big these circles are. It depends on your sketch, on your drawing. You can make it smaller also, or you can make it even bigger. You can make a lighter patterns, or you can even make the darker pattern. Then one more pattern is that is dotted. So if this is a circle, you can also make shades with dotted, especially when you are making pen art, when you are using pen. So once you become good enough with your pencil, you can start with pen, and it really looks good when you make this pattern, the dotted ones. So in the darker part of your object, you can increase the density of these dots, and in the lighter part you can just decrease the density. So that's how you can show your shading. But as a beginner, I will suggest you to follow these simple patterns, and after that you can blend this. Blending is also very important to make your sketch realistic. Now I will show you the shading with the HB pencil only. Let's start. So here it is the darker value of my pencil, and then I will release the pressure on my pencil. You can see the lighter value. So this you need to practice from darker to lighter, and then again lighter to darker. It depends on how much pressure you put on your pencil. Yes, you can definitely use different grades of pencil like 2B, 4B, 8B uh, for the darker values of the shades. But if you don't have only with one pencil, also you can make it. The darker value here, and slowly, gradually, I'll release the pressure on my pencil with the lighter hand. I'll show you how to blend it. So there are two options. One, first simple thing, easily available at your home, that is tissue paper. Now this is a kitchen towel I'm using. I don't have this soft one. It's better if you use the soft tissue, or the other option is this blending tools. This is made of simply pepper only. You can just rub it on your sketches, on your shading, and you can blend it. If you want to clean it, just rub this on sandpaper or any rough surface. It will be clean like this. Let me show you how to use this. For this also, you need to put right pressure on this blending tool and release the pressure to get the desired shade, this blending effect on your sketches. Now here you can see there is, I have not made any shading, but I'll just rub this and I'll get the lighter tones. I'll show you. Now the second one I'll show you with the tissue paper. See, this is also simple and easy method. See here. Okay, now you have seen how to make shading and blending. This also you need to practice again and again. Now let's see on a circle how to make it look like a sphere. I hope you can see this. Now why we are doing it with the circle sphere? It's very easy to learn about all these shades and lights, about tones like highlight, mid-tone, core shadow, reflected light, and cast shadow. This is a circle and we need to put some shades and shadows. We need some light. So imagine somewhere here the light source is here, and this object is resting on a flat surface. So this rays will come from this side. So it's very obvious that this part uh, will be in very lighter shade, or it will look like pure white. So that is called as highlight, where the light is hitting on object. So this will be called as a highlight. Then the next thing, the major part is the shadow. I'll tell you about the last part first. That is cast shadow. What is cast shadow? Cast shadow means the shadow casted by the object on the ground or on the surface where it is resting. So if the light is coming from this side, obviously the shadow will form here on the ground or on the table or any surface where it is resting. Okay, blending will do at the end. Now next is reflected light, which we need to show here in this. Okay, this I will label as a cast shadow. Now what is reflected light? Let me tell you. So when the light is falling on the ground or any surface where the object is resting, so after the shadow here on this part the light will fall, but it will bounce back. And when it bounce back on the object, so that part we need to show as a reflected light here. So this part I will keep, so this much part only I'll keep for the reflected light. So here I need to make a lighter gray shade. It's not as light or as white as this highlight part. It's the second tone after this, or you can make it even lighter. Now fourth part, that is core shadow, it will come here. Now what is core shadow? Core shadow, it is the darkest value of the subject found on the subject itself, and it will come opposite from the dominant light. So after reflected light you will find core shadow. So this is our core shadow, the darkest part. Now next is mid-tone. It will fall here in this part. What is mid-tone? Mid-tone is the value of subject that is original shade or original color of the object. So if so imagine if this is a red color ball or red color object. So whatever is the original shade of that object, you can see it here at the mid-tone. That you need to show it here. After that, it will become dark here at the core shadow, and this will become the lighter part at the highlight. So this I will again make it gray. Now let's start with blending, so it will give you the good effect, desired effect. I think I didn't tell you guys about this thing. This is a eraser. This is called as a kneadable eraser. So you can just change the shape. Also, it is non-dust. If you don't have it right now, you can use any normal eraser. But this thing is very useful. Like you can just convert it into any shape, and you can use it on the areas like this to remove this part, to erase this part. This is a very convenient thing, available online on Amazon or in any art and craft shop. You will get this.
Hope you guys liked our today's video. So stay tuned and wait for the next video. Till then, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.